Ignition sequence starts. 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, 0. Liftoff. We have a liftoff.
Hey everybody, this is the Digital Asset Investor, and there's always some drama in the morning around here, it seems like. My wife and my 10-year-old, they tend to lock horns. Usually in most families, you've got one that's just like the mom, one that's just like the dad. My wife and my 10-year-old are opposites, so they fight each other, and then I don't fight many people because I'm as long as I've got my coffee in the morning, I don't really want to get involved in any drama. I just want to have my coffee and get ready for this video, which I did. But golly, those two go at it sometimes. All right, markets are last 24 hours. Ethereum's surging because, like, coming up very soon, apparently this Ethereum merge is supposed to finally happen. XRP's in second place on my list. And who knows, that could be, I don't know what the reasons are there. But anyway. That's coinpaprika.com. Check them out. Then there was this. This was sent to me by Mike Jansen, who you all know did my intro and my outro on this channel. And he's also the Indianapolis Colts announcer in the stadium. And so he sent me this, and I thought it was interesting. You know, every once in a while these people show things, and it's kind of interesting to watch. So I think you'll be interested.
XRP is literally about to explode right now. Like, it's doing something it hasn't done since 2017. We're talking 5 years ago. Let's dive into the chart and see why you should buy XRP right now. And this is my...
No, that's not me saying buy XRP right now. This is just something I saw that I thought was interesting. I'm just letting you see what he says.
Some software that I use for buying and selling. The vertical green lines is to buy and the vertical red lines is to sell. Easy as that. The last time we flashed a buy signal, or the first time as well too, was February 2017, right before we shot up 80 times our money in 80 days. And then you can see the vertical red lines, which tell you to sell, nail the exact top.
80 times in 80 days. That sounds interesting. That's like thumbnail worthy. Watch this.
But the biggest thing that's happening right now is we're flashing another vertical green line, and we haven't done that since 2017. That was 5 years ago. So if this follows like the past did, we could be on the precipice of going up 80 times your money in XRP in 80 days.
I like the enthusiasm. I hope he's right. Then eGrag Crypto says XRP market cap dominance percentage in January 2015, XRP reached 20%, and in 2017 almost hit 32%. If the symmetrical triangle plays out in a bullish way, then XRP dominance can reach 6% at 25%, expecting the breakout anytime. Breakout anytime. I'm hoping for a breakout anytime. But anyway, I've told you 1,000 times on this channel, I am not one of these guys that does all the charting stuff. And who knows? Is it legit or not? Who knows? But like many of you, people that are into it, every once in a while I'll see one that catches my attention, and so I show it to you. All right, now this is interesting. I found this is from Kitco News, I think their website or whatever. This guy apparently wrote a book about a new gold standard or something like that. Listen to this. This is 2 minutes, 30 seconds, and it's worth every single one, because there's a reason that I'm buying gold and I hold a bunch of XRP.
Right. The fact is that we're not going to, no one's just going to wave a magic wand and somehow get us back onto a gold standard. It's not going to happen that way. It might be quite disruptive. It might be only mildly disruptive depending on how it's done, but you still have to go through a transition period. The transition period will have to reprice gold to a level which allows it to be valued vis-a-vis the global asset base and global trade volumes in a way that implies equilibrium. What I mean by that is that today the gold price is too low to allow markets to clear because assets are overvalued vis-a-vis gold, and you need to rebalance the global economy such that you don't have these imbalances, which are huge, right, as a result of all the dollar accumulation as reserves through the decades of Bretton Woods. So the gold price needs to rise by an order of magnitude in order to allow that system to work. So you go through this phase transition when the price of gold has to rise by an order of magnitude. In my book, I go through some calculations what that order of magnitude would be. And indeed, they're based on calculations that have been made before by other economists, including under Bretton Woods. I mean, would you believe, we take it for granted today. We think, oh, gee, Bretton Woods is a stable system. It just worked. Nobody questioned it. That's not true. There was lots of debate and discussion during already the 1950s, but in particular the 1960s, that the U.S. money and credit supply was growing too quickly to be credibly backed by gold anymore and to allow Bretton Woods to function. And so there was already this dispute going on that gold was going to have to be revalued at some point. And indeed, gold was revalued before Bretton Woods broke down completely. They tried to go through a revaluation process, but it just wasn't enough. It didn't properly rebalance international trade, and it all blew up in the end when the U.S. basically lost patience with the rest of the world. So, that's how it happened then. But back then, the world was still very unipolar in political, economic, and military terms. It's far less so today. So I think today, the revaluation that gold would have to go through to imply a stable international monetary equilibrium is huge. And by implication, according to my calculations, you're talking something in the region of about $50,000 per ounce being a reasonable market clearing price for gold if you fully go back to a gold-backed international monetary system.
Boy, it sure is. This is my favorite quote out of that. You'll have to reprice gold to a level which allows it to be valued vis-a-vis the global asset base and global trade volumes. And he says it would have to be 50,000 per ounce. Well, where have we heard that number 50,000 before? Oh, that's right. It's the last video where Jimmy Valley says that he thinks that XRP would have to be priced at about $50,000. I wonder, in this scenario this guy just described, I wonder what would solve, because you still got to solve the transportability problem of gold. You also could solve the transportability problem of all other assets and liabilities in this world. All the money, folks. All the money. And look, that's why I keep talking. One of my favorite sponsors is Glint, because I'm buying Glint. I've been buying Glint gold in my Glint account so that I've got my debit card, MasterCard to buy it. The link to this will be in the very top of the description of this video. You click on it and tell them DAI sent you. And then also, of course, I've got my XRP, which I've been accumulating for a long time now. Vitalik Buterin says the merge is still expected to happen around September 13th to 15th. Okay? And then, it's funny because right underneath it, Tim.GaryGensler says hashtag Ethgate. Vitalik Buterin has a hard time tweeting these days without getting bombarded with that kind of stuff. Deservedly so. Then Yoshitaka Katal tweeted this: Ripple partners with Travelex Bank to launch crypto-based payment solutions in Brazil. Then there was this. This is very interesting. I saw this video right here from Wheezy, okay? This is a guy named Lee Schneider. He's an attorney. At the time of Ethgate, he was with McDermott, Will, and Emery, okay? And if you'll remember, there were, as I recall, there was 3 law firms that were in the closed-door meetings with the SEC, and it was Andreessen Horowitz, those 2 VC firms, Andreessen Horowitz, Union Square Ventures, and then you had Cooley LLP was one of the law firms. You had Perkins Coie, and you had McDermott, Will, and Emery, and that's where he was. The reason I know this is because I found a video of him a long time ago, and I don't think I ever posted it, but today I did when I saw this. Look at this from Wheezy. In this clip, Lee Schneider is basically saying that he worked on the safe harbor. We know that Lowell Ness worked on the safe harbor memo from Perkins Coie, who was Andreessen Horowitz's attorney. But Lee Schneider is saying here that he helped work on it.
One other thing that we did in our memo that I think was helpful for, and I should say, I'm not the only one up here who helped write that memo. Neha was instrumental in it as well. But when we were talking about writing the memo, one of the things that we wanted to do because the Howey test is not especially concrete, is we wanted to come up with a group of what we called rights that we thought would make a token not a security, and a group of what we called investment interests that we thought would make a token a security. And so we do our analysis under the Howey test. We also do the analysis under this test that we came up with ourselves. And I should also note that we've had conversations with the SEC. We've given them our memo on this topic, and they broadly agree with the framework that we've laid out.
Okay, so there's that. Well, if he was involved in giving the SEC the safe harbor memo, then what about this? Because I had seen this clip, I think a year ago, but I was immediately reminded of it. In this clip, it's important you understand, this is from May 27th, 2018, just really about 16, 17 days before the Bill Hinman speech that gave Ethereum and Bitcoin a free pass. Okay? This is him talking about his Coinbase account where he admits that he owns Bitcoin and it's down a lot right now. So the question is, if he's got a Coinbase account and he's behind closed doors and sending safe harbor memos to the SEC, this is just one attorney. This is why we need to see those emails. How many of these guys owned Bitcoin and Ethereum and they were behind closed doors working on getting Bitcoin and Ethereum an SEC free pass that has dictated the market from then until now? He says it right here.
Look, I don't know. I wrote a paper on the subject for Coinbase. I don't know if that's where you got your pricing from today, but it definitely went below 7,000 today. I've watched my Coinbase account nearly halve in value over the past 5 weeks.
It was all over the place.
I was sort of feeling pretty wealthy at the beginning of January. I'm feeling much poorer.
Wait till tomorrow.
Yeah, indeed.
So, and look, I'm not saying the guy did anything wrong, but I am saying, do these guys have no duty to disclose this? And in this whole Ethgate thing, these guys aren't in any way held to any kind of standard where they've got to say, hey, I just to clear the air here, I owned both Bitcoin and Ethereum while I was working behind closed doors to create a framework to hand to Bill Hinman to go give a speech that dictated the market in Bitcoin and Ethereum's favor for the next 4 years. I mean, this is not. I mean, this doesn't smell right. All right, I'm going to finish it here, but first I wanted to show you this. Actor Bill Murray lost $185,000 raised for charity in a crypto hack, and apparently they hacked his wallet. And you know why? Because Bill Murray apparently does not have a Ledger Nano S. I have a few Ledger Nano S's. Do not keep your crypto on exchanges. I'm going to put a link to the Ledger Nano S in the top of the description of this video. Click the link, tell them DAI sent you, and stop keeping your crypto on exchanges. I'm the digital asset investor. I'm not an investment advisor. This is for entertainment purposes only. Please subscribe, hit the like button, tell your friends and family that I would love to know what is going to solve the transportability problem of gold.